Hey everyone, Rich Gasaway here. I am really excited to announce a new way for your department, agency, or association to get trained on situational awareness and high-risk decision-making. This is by far the most affordable and convenient way to get your members trained on situational awareness. It's called virtual training. I will work with you and your training staff to set up a live, via the internet, training for your members on the date and the time that you select on your regular training date and time, if that's what you desire. So if, for example, your training is on a Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m., we'll do that live training virtually on Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Or if your department trains on a Thursday morning from 8 to 10 a.m., then that's when we'll do the training for you. You get the idea. I come to you virtually and train your members on situational awareness. If you want to learn more about this training opportunity, just visit samatters.com. Scroll down the home page and the topics are listed in orange under the heading Virtual Training Programs. Honestly, it can't get any easier or any more affordable. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you'll get access to a playback for 60 days to train any of your members who might have missed the live training event. Okay, that's enough of the pre-show stuff. Roll that podcast intro. Today's episode is sponsored by Midwest Fire. For more than 20 years, Midwest Fire has been manufacturing high-quality tankers, tanker pumpers, and fire rescue vehicles in the United States and Canada. Keeping firefighters safe while enhancing their capabilities is what they do best. To learn more, go to MidwestFire.com.
This is Tiger Schmittendorf, Deputy Fire Coordinator for the Erie County Department of Emergency Services. You're listening to the SA Matters radio show with Dr. Rich Gasaway. The SA Matters mission is simple. They want to help us see the bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 186 of the Situational Awareness Matters radio show. I'm your host, Rich Gasaway. The purpose of this show is to improve situational awareness and decision-making for individuals and teams who work in high-risk, high-consequence, time-compressed environments with changing conditions. The SA Matters mission is simple: to help you see the bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes. Did you know I've been sharing the message of situational awareness and high-risk decision-making in live events for 12 years now, and have trained just over 62,000 students, including first responders, industrial workers, military personnel, business leaders, medical professionals, utility workers, aviation workers, and more. Really, this message is for anyone who works in an environment that's high risk and high consequence, time compressed with changing conditions. If you or someone you know could benefit from training on situational awareness and high-risk decision-making, just ask them to reach out to me by visiting the samatters.com website and clicking on the Contact Us tab. If you're new to the podcast, you've got some homework to do by going back and listening to past episodes. I've released a new episode of this podcast every Tuesday, never missed a week, for more than 3 years. No other podcast focused on improving safety even comes close to this track record. And I do this for you, the listeners. You truly inspire me. And let me say this, I'm here for the long run, and for so long as I'm able, I will continue to share this message. A message of hope, a message of inspiration, and a message of encouragement for anyone who works in high-risk environments. I want to make sure you know how to develop and maintain strong situational awareness, and you know how to make quality high-risk decisions. And I dedicate this podcast to improving your safety and your survival, and to helping you accomplish the very most important goal of all. Always the most important goal. And that's to go home to the ones who love you. And speaking of sharing the message, I'm just back from a month-long Situational Awareness Matters tour where I did 12 programs in 28 days. Program hosts included the New South Wales Fire Brigade in Sydney, Australia, the Metropolitan Fire Brigade in Melbourne, Australia, the Institution of Fire Engineers Conference in Perth, Australia, the New Zealand Fire Service in Christchurch, New Zealand, the New Zealand Fire Service in Wellington, New Zealand, and the Institution of Fire Engineers Conference in Auckland, New Zealand, the Amsterdam Fire Brigade in Amsterdam, Netherlands, the Dutch Fire Academy in Arnhem, Netherlands, the Antwerp Fire Brigade in Antwerp, Belgium, and the Belgian Federal Center of Expertise for Civil Security, also in Antwerp, Belgium. It was an amazing trip, and I learned so much. And I can't wait to build those lessons into my situational awareness programs. And today, I'm coming to you from Billings, Montana, where I'm in town to deliver a program for the emergency response team members of Phillips 66 Petroleum Refinery. You might have heard me mention in September that I did a program in Evansville, Indiana, and the Evansville Fire Chief, Mike Conley, did an amazing job of getting sponsors for the event. From Chief Conley's efforts, the 2-day training event that I did cost his department, you ready? $0. That's right. Didn't cost him a penny. He did everything from sponsorships. I tell departments all the time that they can host great training events, mine or someone else's, using sponsorships. Usually the suggestion is met with skepticism, but not in Chief Conley's case. He just simply said to me, "Show me how to do that." And I did. And Chief Conley went out and he asked for sponsors. And he come back and he told me that he found sponsors to step up and offer financial assistance, and it really wasn't that hard. His sponsors included Vectren, the gas and electric company that serves the Evansville area, Deaconess Hospital, the University of Southern Indiana, the Evansville Firefighters Credit Union, Old National Bank, Global Emergency Products, Hoosier Fire Equipment, Mission Barbecue, Public Safety Medical, and Siegel's Uniform. When the dust settled on this, Chief Conley was able to raise just over $15,000 for his programs. That paid for the program, a situational awareness book for every attendee, paid for the venue rental, provided lunch for the attendees for both days, and because all of that didn't cost $15,000, he now has seed money for another program. And that he has. He has scheduled 2 more programs with me in 2018, a full-week leadership development program for his department and others in the region, and a 2-day situational awareness program like I did for him in August. And he is going to use the residual sponsorship money, and he secured more sponsors, meaning this will cost him $0. I tell departments with limited budgets all the time that this is the way to go, and it is. If you want to host a program but you have limited resources, contact me and I will help you do what Evansville did. Host a program that perhaps will cost your department nothing. I always say, where the will is strong, a way can be found. This training program on situational awareness and high-risk decision-making, it's a game changer. How do I know that? Attendees at live events tell me this all the time. At break, at lunch, at the end of the day. They send me emails. They post it on their social media. I post it on my social media too. Understanding how to develop and maintain situational awareness can truly, and I mean truly, save your life. There is no simpler way to say it. One of the questions I get asked all the time by readers of the blog and listeners to the podcast are, when are you coming to my area? I want to attend a program. Or where are you going to be next? Great questions, and I've made the answer really easy to find. I created a link on my homepage for upcoming events. If you just go to the homepage and go to the right side and click that blue box that has the live event schedule, you'll see every place that I have that's upcoming. Here's also something else you might want to know. If you want to save some money on hosting a program, and seriously, who doesn't want to save some money, right? You can host a program at a reduced cost. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you've heard me talk about companion programs. Companion programs are the programs that I do on adjoining days to other programs. So if you see I'm delivering a situational awareness program within a couple hours of your department, and you think you might want to tag along as a companion, contact me, and you can save as much as 20% off of the program cost for being a companion. I've done over 100 companion programs, and at no time has any program host ever complained about saving money by being a companion. That is truly what I call a win-win scenario. In today's feature segment, I'm going to talk about something that can happen to you while you're working in high-stress environments that can have a significant negative impact on your situational awareness. It's called confabulation. And when it happens, it's highly likely that you will not even be aware of it at the time. Okay, let's jump into our feature segment, and when I'm done, stick around, and I'll tell you where you can attend an upcoming Situational Awareness Matters tour stop event. If you've attended one of my situational awareness programs, you've learned how stress is a game changer. And when it comes to situational awareness and decision-making quality, stress impacts how we think and how we make decisions. Most employee training programs focus on developing cognitive knowledge and physical skills. Far less addressed is the impact of stress on situational awareness and decision-making, and the seemingly irrational, some might even say bazaar, behaviors manifested by some workers while they are under stress. I search for videos on YouTube to provide you with ample supply of video clips displaying the irrational behavior of first responders and others who work in high-stress environments. On this episode, I'm going to address one of those behaviors an employee can display under stress, and it can have catastrophic consequences. Liar, liar, pants on fire. A powerful exercise I conduct during my multi-day version of the situational awareness training involves demonstrating how stress increases the propensity for a person to lie. It should be noted that they're not lying on purpose, with malice intent. In fact, at the beginning of the exercise, I instruct the participants to tell the truth and avoid lying. The exercise plays out in front of a stunned and often amused audience who gets to witness the participants standing there in front of the room, and in spite of my instructions, they are telling lies. The participants don't even realize that they're lying. That's right. Even though they're saying things that are not true, they are consciously unaware that they're doing it. The audience laughs when the participant says something outlandish. The participant laughs along with them, even though they have no idea what's so funny. It's as though some of the participants in the exercise are in a trance or hypnotized, something I've been accused of doing on occasion, but I continued to deny it. Everyone in the room gets to see the participants lie, but no one really understands why they're lying, especially when I so emphatically instructed the participants to tell the truth. The answer to this mystery resides in the brain and its powerful need to make sense out of a complex world. The participants in my exercise are told a story that contains 9 pieces of information, surrounded by a bunch of other words that make the sentences run coherently together. I'll call all that unnecessary words in the story noise. Only 2 or 3 pieces of the information in the story are truly important, but the participants don't know which pieces of the information are important and which are not. So they try to remember all the details. How did they do? They fail miserably. They're suffering from cognitive overload, and their poor brains are confused. Your helpful brain. What the brain tries to do while attempting to reconcile the problem of overload can have some pretty catastrophic consequences. Like water overflowing the top of a glass, the brain starts shedding or dumping information, forgetting, if you will. You may be surprised to learn you have about as much control over which pieces of information you'll forget as you would having control over which droplets of water run over the rim of a glass and spill onto the table. Our logical minds have us believing that we have the ability to shelve the unimportant information and to remember the most important information. But that's not really what happens. What happens leaves the observers stunned. The participants remember some of the least important information, what I earlier called the noise, and forget some of the most important details. I've conducted this exercise several hundred times, and the outcome is always predictably similar. Because our brains have a limited capacity to process and recall information, it may be no surprise that information is going to be forgotten. But the observers in the exercise never expect that the critical information is what they will forget. But it is. Confabulation. The second most stunning outcome of this exercise is the participants start to lie. Since lying is often associated with someone who is telling an untruth on purpose, usually to keep from getting into trouble, we think of liars of having purposeful intent to be untruthful. And since these participants are not lying on purpose, it's uncomfortable to even use the word lying. Well, apparently, the scientific community agreed. And researchers don't like to call it lying either, so they made up their own word to describe what is happening. What the participants are doing, researchers call confabulation. In scientific terms, it means the participant's brain is fabricating imaginary stories to compensate for the missing factual data. In layperson's terms, you can call it making up a story or lying. The loss of memory comes from two sources, stress and information overload. Two ingredients abundant in high-risk work environments. Making up stories is a safety mechanism of the brain to help it make sense out of an otherwise seemingly senseless situation. If you lack the facts to make a story flow coherently in your brain will then use its imagination to fill in the missing information. It makes it up as it goes, and the story will make sense to the storyteller, and they will be completely unaware that they are confabulating. They tell their story literally as if it is fact. While I titled this episode, "You Can't Handle the Truth," it could perhaps be more appropriately called, "You Can't Handle the Information, so you make up the truth." When under stress. So what does this benign classroom exercise have to do with worker safety? A lot. The same vulnerabilities of the mind played in the classroom can be manifested while working in high-risk environments too. Responders can think things happened that never did. Supervisors can believe they gave orders that they were never communicated. Employees can recount performing tasks that they never performed. Conditions can be described in ways that are inconsistent with reality. Good grief. Stress and information overload sure make us vulnerable creatures. It's important to understand your vulnerabilities. Awareness of your shortcomings is the first step toward managing them. Situational awareness is an important ingredient in managing this cognitive shortcoming. Here's why. Level 1 situational awareness, the baseline, or what I sometimes call the foundation of situational awareness, is developed by a constant scanning of the environment for information, what I call clues and cues. But not every piece of information is important. Scan and research for the most important pieces of information to help you make a good decision. Much like you would scan a 1,000-piece puzzle unassembled on a table and find the 4 corners first as the starting point to the assembly. Level 2 situational awareness, or what I call the walls of the house, in building my house is my analogy of foundation is gathering the information, walls is understanding the information. Level 2 situational awareness, understanding the meaning of the information you gather. Factual, timely information in limited quantities is key to comprehension. Volumes of information are not a friend of the stressed brain. In fact, it's the basis for confabulation. Level 3 situational awareness, the highest and perhaps most complex part of situational awareness development, the roof of the house, and my analogy of building a house, is being able to predict the future. In order to do that, you must have an accurate understanding of the current events, meaning the level 3 situational awareness of prediction is built on the development of level 1 situational awareness, perception, and level 2 situational awareness, understanding. It all starts with capturing the right quantity and quality of information and knowing how to sift through the noise and retain the most critical information and use that information as the foundation of your good decision making. I have a favor to ask of you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. The one listening to this podcast right now. You on the treadmill. You, the one that's driving your car. You, the one that's taking your dog for a walk. And even you, the one who is falling asleep while you're listening to this episode. Wake up! I need your help. I launched this podcast to give a voice to those who've experienced near-miss events. The stories of those who have shared their near-miss events have been amazing and very educational. In case you missed the last 3 episodes, go back and listen to the near-miss interview with members from the St. Charles Fire Department. It is bone-chilling. We need to get more of those lessons shared with a larger audience. So if you've experienced or witnessed a near-miss while on the job and would like to have a platform to share your lessons learned with others, contact me by visiting the SAMatters.com website and clicking on the Contact Us tab on the home page. Think about it for a moment. The lessons learned from your near-miss event could save someone's life. That's really powerful. What a wonderful gift you could give to someone else. If you want to share your experience, contact me. If you want to send me feedback on this podcast or on anything else that I do, I'd love to hear from you. You can go right to the SA Matters website and click on the Contact Us tab on the top of the home page, and that'll send me an email. And if you prefer, you can shoot me a message on Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. By the time this episode airs, I will have completed a tour stop at the International Association of Fire Chiefs Volunteer and Combination Officers Section Symposium in the Sun in Clearwater Beach, Florida. There I will be awarding the Emerging Leader Scholarship to Fire Chief Joseph Bartos of the West Point, Virginia Fire Department. This is a scholarship that I have sponsored for the last 8 years, and it provides $1,500 for an emerging leader to attend the VCOS Symposium. The application process is on the VCOS website, vcos.org. I also want to give a shout out to Scott Township Fire Chief Adam Farrar. Adam was the scholarship recipient 2 years ago. And every year at the symposium, I tell the attendees to step up and give back. And Adam has done that. He has contributed $1,000 of his money out of his pocket toward the Emerging Leader Scholarship, paying it forward and helping someone else as he benefited from the scholarship. So thank you, Adam, for paying it forward and displaying solid leadership. If you want to join me at an upcoming SA Matters Tour Stop event, you can attend a program on November 16th. I'll be back in Billings, Montana at the Phillips 66 refinery. November 20 in Boston, Massachusetts. December 1 to 3 in Evansville, Indiana. December 5 in San Diego for the All Hazards Incident Management Team Association Conference. December 7 and 8 in Niagara Falls, Ontario. December 9 and 10th in Woodstock, Ontario. December 11th in Canfield, Ohio. December 12th in Wintersville, Ohio. December 13th in Elyria, Ohio for a daytime program. Also December 13th in Solon, Ohio for an evening program. December 14th in Solon, Ohio for an evening program. And December 14 through 16 in Twinsburg, Ohio for daytime programs. Remember me talking about companion programs earlier and saving money? That's what's happening in Ontario and Ohio in December. All those programs that are all seemingly in the same or near same place. Seriously, folks, these agencies combined have saved over $6,000. If you want to see all the locations of all the upcoming Situational Awareness Matters Tour Stop events, head over to the SA Matters website and click on the blue box on the right side that has the schedule for the live training events. Just know the schedule is always changing, so check back often. If you're interested in hosting a Situational Awareness Matters program, there are some dates left in December and a few in January. So I'm very actively booking 2018 right now. So if your company, agency, association, or regional conference, or state conference, or national conference might want to host a program, just contact me through the samatters.com website. Contact Us tab. We'll get something set up for you. I have great staff, and they'll make the process really easy for you, I promise. The last time I was delivering programs in southwest Minnesota, I stopped and visited the sponsor of this podcast show, Midwest Fire. Midwest Fire is a fire truck manufacturing company that makes amazing, all poly-bodied fire apparatus, and it's changing the industry. You really have to check them out if you haven't already. No, you need to. Go to MidwestFire.com. MidwestFireAltogether.com. Anyhow, while I was there, I had a chance to sit down and talk to some of their employees about what separates Midwest Fire from their competitors. Here I asked account executive Dalton Lingbeck about the Create-A-Spec feature they have on their website. Let's listen in. All right, Dalton. So a lot of the people who attend my programs are volunteer firefighters who have full-time jobs and full-time lives and raising their kids and working second jobs and doing the fire department, and clearly their time is stretched. So how, if they had an interest in a Midwest Fire apparatus, how do they reach you, and what's the process? I mean, how difficult is this? How much time is this going to take if they want to learn more about how to build a Midwest Fire truck?
Well, that's a good question. We try and make it as easy as possible because a lot of our customers, if not the majority of our customers, are volunteer firefighters, and they do have a hard time of finding time in a day to reach out to us. So if you ever go to our website and you're searching around and you really want to talk to us but you just can't get on the phone, we have a couple ways of doing this. The first part is we actually have a call request button where you can go on there, you can click on it, you can tell us when and what number to call you on at the best time. That's really easy for us to reach out at the moment you want us to, when you're best available. The second thing is we do a Create-A-Spec. So on our website, you can actually click a button that's called Create-A-Spec, and you can build the truck that you are trying to spec out. And what that does, it doesn't give you the full truck, it doesn't give you a price, but it sends us a specification in-house. So what we can do with that is we can have your information to call you with, but before that, we have a spec in hand. We can make notes. We can start developing some ideas. So when we call you, it's an efficient call. It doesn't take up a lot of your time, and it's at the right moment.
And this creative spec, is there like drop-down options? Like, you know, I'm guessing like when I purchased fire trucks, sometimes I didn't even know what I wanted, and sometimes I didn't even know the options of what were available. So is this kind of talk me through, you know, the different decisions that need to be made in developing a spec? Because I would guess that there are people out there that would be scratching their head saying, I'm not really sure that I know what I need or want. So how does this, how interactive is this in walking you through this?
Well, it's a page-by-page process. So we kind of start out with the size of your truck, and we go on to different options. We don't give you, we try to make it as simple as possible for you to get the point across. Basically what it does is, like I said, it's a page-by-page process. You choose your options. We lead you in a direction that you need to go. So it's not one big page of just a bunch of stuff that you need to choose.
Okay. But there are options listed there to be able to choose from.
Yeah, if you're not writing anything out, there are comment boxes where you can write little comments if you need to, but we give you the options, little drop-down, little check boxes.
Are you, on this creative spec, are you getting as specific as to say, I want this first compartment to be so many inches wide, by so many inches tall, by so many inches deep? Are they getting that in-depth in the creative spec, or is it something that's just a little simpler that allows them to do kind of like a high-level description of what they want in a truck?
It's a little simpler. It's more of a high-level idea. When it comes to compartment sizes, that's more for engineering to figure out. But you can, like I said, in the comment boxes, there are sections where you can say, you know, I want high-side compartments, I want full-height compartments on this side. There's a lot of options for you to choose that.
Okay, so to go to MidwestFire.com, and then on there is a create a spec tab or link.
Yep, you'll see one on the top right corner, and if you scroll down the main page, you'll see one underneath our video. There's plenty of options for you to find it. It's just going to catch your eye, and when you see some trucks on our website that you like, feel free to fill one out.
Yep, there you go. Go to MidwestFire.com, check out Create a Spec, and see how easy it is to build a truck and then have a follow-up consultation about your needs. Thank you, Midwest Fire President Sarah Atchison, and all your staff for your awesome commitment to improving the safety of first responders. I really appreciate your support of my mission. Hey, if you're not part of the SA Matters community of learners yet, what are you waiting on? There are over 50,000 people connected with me through the newsletter, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, sharing ideas about how to improve situational awareness and how to make better decisions under stress and how to train employees to be critical thinkers and resilient problem solvers. If you want to sign up for my monthly newsletter, it's free. 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 The newsletter contains featured content from the blog and the podcast and special discounts on my books and videos exclusively for the newsletter subscribers. It truly is the best way for us to stay in touch with each other. And there's a real easy way for you to join. Just get out your smartphone, get it out right now, or pause the podcast if you're on your smartphone listening to it, and text SA Matters to 22828. That's the letter S, the letter A, and the word matters. All together is one word, SA Matters, to 22828. You'll get a message back about getting access to my program handouts. You can just consider that a bonus for signing up. And if you want to get connected on Twitter, you can follow @RichGasaway on Twitter. About 18,000 connections on Twitter between my two Twitter accounts. Thank you for that. If you want to get connected with me on LinkedIn, you can search for Rich Gasaway on LinkedIn. There's a little over 10,000 folks that I'm connected with on LinkedIn. Thank you for that. If you want to watch my videos on YouTube, you can go to the SA Matters TV, all together one word, SA Matters TV, all one word, on YouTube. The videos have had just under 600,000 downloads, and I recently uploaded a video from the world tour that I talked about earlier in the podcast. You can also get connected with me on Facebook by liking the SA Matters page. Finally, if you'd like to advertise your product or service on this podcast and through my social media connections, contact me. The podcast has enjoyed over 250,000 downloads. I also show the love to my sponsors through my social media connections. During my world tour, I wore clothing items from my podcast sponsor, Midwest Fire, and shared pictures of me wearing their garb in Australia, New Zealand, the Netherlands, and Belgium. Are they getting more business from this? Well, I don't know, but they've been a sponsor for more than 3 years running, so I'm guessing they see value in being connected to my mission. Well, that's it. Episode 186 is complete. Thank you to our awesome podcast sponsor, Midwest Fire. Thank you to all of the companies, agencies, and organizations that have hosted live SA Matter events. Thank you to all who attended the virtual training event that I held on National Situational Awareness Day, September 26th. Thank you to the more than 1,000 students enrolled in the SA Matters Online Academy. And most importantly, thank you, the listeners of this podcast show, for sharing some of your valuable time with me today. I really do appreciate your support of the SA Matters mission. Be safe out there, and may the peace of the Lord and strong situational awareness be with you always.
You've been listening to the Situational Awareness Matters radio show with Dr. Richard B. Gasaway. If you are interested in learning more about situational awareness, human factors, and decision-making under stress, visit samatters.com. If you are interested in booking Dr. Gasaway for an upcoming event, visit his personal website at richgasaway.com.